Hey guys, welcome back to Gamers Xtreme, and you're listening to Radio Xtreme. This is episode 29, and with me as my co-host today is VengefulTorture.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You might know me from YouTube. I'm VT. Happy to be here.
All right, great to have you here. And we're going to talk about a couple of things that we've got going on, this upcoming month, or actually next 2 months worth of news and games. First thing, let's just kick it off. This upcoming Tuesday, 2 big releases coming out for the PlayStation 3 and 360, as well as one of them being for the Wii U as well, to start ending the summer drought of games. Saints Row 4 coming out for the PS3 and 360 this Tuesday, and Splinter Cell Blacklist coming out for the PS3, 360, and Wii U this Tuesday as well. We'll be covering both of those reviews. R17 will actually be covering the Splinter Cell Blacklist review, while I will actually be covering the Saints Row 4 review. Very excited for that. I platinumed Saints Row 3, loved it, and very stoked to get Saints Row 4 for sure. So, two massive games, and then for the PS3 exclusively, you can get the DuckTales Remastered exclusive retail edition. It's $20. It doesn't come in a disc, it's just a box. PS3 version only, so that's another thing coming out this Tuesday. So, and then on the 25th is New Super Luigi U coming out for the Wii U. It's the retail edition. This has a disc, and that'll be retailing for $30. So, and that's a very rare item. Nintendo stated that they will stop production of that physical edition at the end of this year. So, get those copies while you still can, and if you're looking to make an extra buck, buy a second copy and keep it wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, definitely. Sell it in a few years.
Exactly.
Someone's going to want it. Absolutely.
So this upcoming week is also a pretty big gaming conference going on, Gamescom, over in Germany. VT, you and I both know that Sony's there, Microsoft's there. They're going to be talking about their release dates with both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. What do you think? What are you predicting for their, for the news that's going to be coming out for these two platforms?
Oh, man. I mean, personally, I haven't made a whole lot of predictions that are really outside the box that anyone else hasn't made. Obviously, I think we're going to see a release date from both of the companies, Sony and Microsoft. My personal thoughts, I think Sony's going to pull ahead. They were a year behind with the PS3 compared to the 360. I think they're going to try and make up for that. They've been trying to their best to one-up Microsoft so far, and I think they're going to do it again at Gamescom. It could go either way. The release dates right now, as vague as they are pretty damn close. In the same time frame, holiday, November, whatever. Holiday's such a broad term anyway. So I really think that Sony's going to just blindside us all and come out with it a little earlier. And, Microsoft's probably, with their luck right now, they're probably going to come out with it, sometime in December, and then in like a week change it again, and then a week change it again after that. But, we'll just have to see. But I'm definitely excited to get some official release dates because I got to get my time off work. So
I second that. I will say that obviously we're going to be seeing the release date for the PS4, and I'm actually going to state that it's going to be coming out probably in October.
Yeah, that's my personal thoughts too. I'm thinking middle of October, and I'm thinking for the X1 probably early November, somewhere in line with. Somewhere corresponding in some way to Call of Duty. Yes,
yeah, and I have to agree with that. The reason I was even thinking October was looking back at Sony. Yes, the PlayStation 3 was released in mid-November, but then their previous generation was obviously the PlayStation 2, and that actually released in October of 2000.
Long time
ago, but for some reason I'm leaning toward October as their release date. I mean, yes, there are some retail games such as Battlefield 4, which are listed for the end of October on the PlayStation 4, and also for the Xbox One. But the way things are looking right now, I would say the PS4 is definitely going to release earlier than the Xbox One.
That's what I think too. But it's funny you mentioned Battlefield 4 because there's all this information, Call of Duty, when they had their little multiplayer reveal there, said, yeah, well, whenever you go from from 360 to X1, it'll upgrade. And then Battlefield 4 said the same thing of, your multiplayer profile, everything will carry over from, current gen to next gen. And that got me thinking for a second, too. I'm like, okay, well, that's really cool. I'm glad to hear that. But does that hint at anything about the release date? like, does that say, okay, well, Battlefield 4 is going to be out a little bit on current gen before you go to next gen, so you might want to grab it and then upgrade. And that's, I mean, personally, I think that would be a stupid move.
I think it's a stupid move also, because I'm not going to go out and spend $60 in the PS3 version and then $60 in the PS4 version. I mean, granted, the Xbox One, GameStop's doing this thing with Xbox One where if you buy the 360 version of the game, you can upgrade it for $10 to get to the Xbox One version of it. There's nothing about PS3 to PS4 games yet on that, so we'll have to wait and see if they strike a deal. But at the same token, GameStop is notorious for being very pro-Microsoft and anti-Sony and very anti-Nintendo. So
I mean, you know, they might sway one way or another. I kind of disagree with that. Just with, you know, earlier on this summer with the pre-orders, like, they shafted Microsoft, or maybe Microsoft shafted them one way or another. It definitely appeared as though to the consumer that they were favoring Sony with the surplus of pre-orders that they got. I mean, right out the gate. Later it changed, but
which I would say is the first time, I think, in about 8 years, that they actually were, like, you know, more leaning toward in terms of. I mean, granted, it depends on what the company tells GameStop, whether it's Sony or Microsoft
talking to GameStop.
They
don't have control over.
Yeah, it's all in the business end of it, and it's pretty much, you know, money talks and bullshit walks. That's just how it works. That's how this industry's been running for the last almost decade now. Specifically, this generation more so than any other generation.
Right.
So, but as far as even the Xbox One's release date, I'm going to definitely say it's at the earliest mid-November. I'm not even going to say early November. Definitely mid to late November. I'm seeing closer to, like, Black Friday for them. Yeah. And the reason being because they keep pushing that this is an all-in-one console. I don't know, for some reason I'm seeing Black Friday as like that time to release it around, because people will go to Best Buy and any electronics store to buy the latest tech. And what I see is when you have an all-in-one device, that's going to actually help them in sales-wise when people are going out to buy these TVs for cheap and stuff like that. Whereas,
I mean, definitely can see the correlation because, like, you know, like you said, it's an all-in-one, and they have that, you know, that HDMI in for, you know, watching TV and everything. So that'd be a great promotion for them to release around that time.
Yeah. Whereas the PS4, it seems to be, it's clear that Sony's like, this time it's really just about the gamer. It's about the games. It's about, I mean, granted, the PS3 was all about its exclusives as well, for sure. Right. We just won't get shafted multi-plats in terms of how they're done, finally. So, but I'm excited to see what comes out of there. I think Sony's also going to show off some exclusives for the PlayStation 4.
Oh, I really hope they do. You know, when looking at the press conferences we've seen in the past, you know, especially around E3, you know, Microsoft really stepped up showing off their exclusives and, you know, just overall gameplay video. Obviously, there was very easy to step up from what they showed for their actual announcement, which was awful for gamers. But, and I kind of felt during E3 that, you know, Sony and, you know, they showed off their exclusives, but there was a lot of stuff that we didn't see that we could have. You know, they completely ignored the Vita for the most part.
They really did, and it's a shame because sometimes I question what are they planning on doing with this platform that, you know, you and I have both purchased on day one.
Yeah,
and we've been supporting since day one.
Oh, and I love the thing. I mean, it's an amazing machine. It really is. But for some reason, it feels like it's just a PSP Go right now.
Yes, and that's worrying me a little bit.
Oh, it's worrying me a lot. And hopefully they rectify that at Gamescom, or at least coming up. Obviously, it's going to get a lot more use with the PS4 just with that remote play. Hopefully that works seamlessly and up to my expectations of basically I can play some of my games at work or something. But, you know, that we really haven't seen a whole lot on that, so it remains to be seen.
Yeah. I do hope that they touch on the Vita. I mean, specifically, you know what? Let's just link right into this one. Killzone Mercenary being what I think is going to be the biggest title for the Vita since launch day. Oh,
completely. I mean, there's only, like 2 shooters out right now? 2 first-person shooters for the Vita? I mean, both of them failed terribly because nihilistic. Let's just say it, they suck. And everyone else corresponding with, I mean, it was awful.
And awful. The funny thing is, I reviewed both of those games on the site that they did.
Yeah.
You know, I reviewed Resistance Burning Skies, and I think I gave that a 7 or a 7.5. And I actually enjoyed it, but then in the multiplayer aspect, it was a joke.
And then I enjoyed that one, too. I never touched the Black Ops one. I just read the reviews, and that was terrible. But you're right. I did enjoy the Resistance one. I'm a huge fan of Resistance, but there's no support. It was just a miscellaneous side story. It was kind of pointless.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously Black Ops Declassified. Now they've fixed it up, but it's kind of a little bit of a situation where it's like too little, too late.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that game, I remember just playing it. I'm like, well, I thought it was functional, and then as I just kept playing, it just kept locking up my system, or it was actually, I thought it was damaging my system. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's not good.
No, I ejected that game card right out of my system. I wrote the review, and I shipped it right back to GameFly.
You better kill that shit with fire.
I should have done GameFly a favor and done that.
Right. Send them back the ashes. Here, I got this for you.
Yeah, I'm saving whoever writes this next their Vita.
Yeah, right? Jeez.
So, now, VT, when can we expect to see the Killzone Mercenary beta?
Well, there was a closed beta already. I kind of feel bamboozled and flinkled here because during home, when the E3 was going on, I was so excited. I spent all fucking night doing those damn stupid-ass quests for this Killzone Mercenary beta, only find out that the code I got is for really the open beta, and they already had a closed one, which I didn't know about. So that already happened, but we still have more to look forward to. August 20th, PlayStation Plus subscribers can get into the beta, and also those who got a voucher during home can get into the beta, which means that I have a voucher I'm going to give away to someone.
Ooh.
And, check out my YouTube.
There you go. There you go, people.
And August 27th, the beta opens up for everyone. So that is, normal open beta, hop on your Vita, download it, do what you got to do, but test it out because, that's the best form of a demo, basically.
Yeah.
And then September 3rd, the beta's close, and then they get a week off to fix everything, and then the game releases on September 10th, which is, it's close. Like a lot of betas you see, earlier, and I feel like this one's really right up at the end. Really close to release date, which is, it's fine. What they're fixing is pretty much just, hopefully what they're just fixing is the server side, the multiplayer aspect, which they can do, on their own.
Right.
But I think that it's going to be, based on the reviews and what I've seen for it, and even the storyline, it looks superb. I think it's going to be a game that everyone's going to want to pick up.
And I think it'd be smart if, back to Gamescom for 1 second, with this in mind. I think it'd be very smart if Sony shows we have a PS Vita bundle with Killzone Mercenary.
And that's not too far out of the question, though. Guerrilla Games, the Killzone series is huge for PlayStation.
Yes.
Recently,
Yes.
And to promote the Vita like that, yeah, it'd be great to finally bundle with a good game, because the Vita library it's awful right now. Like, the game library is basically non-existent.
Yeah, it's funny. I look at my collection of Vita games, and when I just look at it, I'm like, I just don't have that many on here. And granted, just recently, Dragon's Crown just came out for both the PS3 and Vita, and that's supposed to be a superb game. I haven't had the chance to play that myself yet, but it's something I'm definitely looking into. Me being a massive fan of brawlers and RPG elements incorporated into them as well. So, but aside from that, yeah, then the next thing was Killzone Mercenary, but after that, there's nothing.
No, like, I have that's the only Vita game I have pre-ordered. I have, like, 9 or 10 other games pre-ordered, but of course none of them are Vita. And, it's really sad. Basically, I feel like my Vita is going to turn into a portable TV screen from PS4, which isn't bad, but it's just kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I think that it just needs to gain more support. But to get more support, you need more sales. It's a double-edged sword. It's like companies are afraid to spend the money or invest the money to see how sales might turn out. But if there's no games for the platform doesn't sell. It's a two-way street. They both have to do their own thing.
Right. It would be really nice if there was a game that you could make for the Vita that would be sure to sell consoles as well as the game, like, in the millions numbers. And if only there was a small island somewhere in Asia that would buy, like, 2 or 3 of those bundles in a day per population. Oh, man. I was trying to think of the game. It's Hunter or something. Something
with Hunter.
Something.
Is it Mushroom Hunter?
Mushroom Hunter would be. That sounds fun. It's good for stoners. No, it's not. It's probably nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's made from some company called something Com.
Yeah. Deltacom.
No.
Betacom?
Defcom.
Defcom. That's right. Because Defcom, they're in trouble. Oh, come on, Capcom. Get on your shit and bring us a Monster Hunter. Like, good lord.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised. I mean, they've really jumped ship with the Sony platform for Monster Hunter.
They really have. I don't know if they have some secret contract going on, pull up Call of Duty, Activision, whatever bullshit with Microsoft move, but like they're struggling is what it is. You know, and in my eyes, it's like, okay, they do these sales, and Monster Hunter isn't that big in the U.S., honestly. If you look at some of the numbers, it's just sort of, it does okay.
And meanwhile, that would fool me because I know, like, at least through the Miiverse on the Wii U, the amount of people that are like really running that community for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is one of the biggest communities out there on the Wii U.
Right. Well,
I'm actually very surprised.
You get a very, I mean, Monster Hunter is a dedicated community. So
I've noticed.
instead of having, like, let's just say, Killzone 3, for instance, which is a huge community, you have, X amount of people that buy it for the whole game. And you have a smaller amount of people that buy it, just for the multiplayer, and then another chunk that buys it for the single player. It's so spread out. But with Monster Hunter, everyone buys it and everyone goes online, and it's this huge dedicated. So you're going to see like nearing 100% of the people who buy that game are going to be on there supporting it, and so it fools you for a little bit until you actually look around and look at some of the numbers, and you're like, wow, that's actually the people I see on there. That's about all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's. I'm very surprised that Capcom has shafted the Sony platform, and I don't know, it could be all business now because they've been very pro Nintendo, and in terms of bringing that game to Nintendo between Monster Hunter Tri, then Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U and for the 3DS. While that's, to me, seeing that they have Nintendo has an exclusive like that, that's great. That helps sales for them.
Right.
It would be nice to see what started on a Sony platform also continue on a Sony platform.
Right. Well, I mean, they're doing a port of Frontier to the PS3 for China, at least. But
so would you be able to download it from the PSN if you create?
You might be, but I mean, it's a pay monthly, and it's literally an exact port. They said there's gonna be no additional content. It's exactly what's on there, and the game's huge. But then again, it's like, okay, the game's like 14 years old or something ridiculous like that.
Right.
So, is it worth it? Maybe. To play in Chinese, probably not.
We just wouldn't understand I mean, the game is text heavy in terms of like your items and stuff. I feel like
completely.
I mean, I saw your YouTube videos of you playing through the PSN version that was available in, I believe, Japan, right?
Yeah. Well, that was a disc version.
You imported it.
Japan. And I mean, that was just about the right amount that I could handle in Japanese. And I mean, there's stuff online you can look up, but Frontier is just so big that you couldn't possibly handle all that.
Really?
The normal person couldn't.
The normal person.
Yeah.
So basically, Capcom, if you are listening on the off chance, just bring the damn game to the Vita. Make VT here happy, as well as many others happy.
I'll buy 5 copies if you do that.
You see
just
that? He will buy 5 copies. That's dedication.
Yep, 1 to cuddle up with at night, 1 to hang on my wall, 2 to play, 1 to just look at.
See, there you go. That's fan service at its finest.
Exactly.
So, all right, moving on. I just posted a review this morning on the site for Cloudberry Kingdom, which is by far the most sadistically awesome platformer I've played. The game's difficulty's insane, but not so much because the game's unfair. It's just the game is brilliantly designed. I mean, the developers of the game, they actually designed an AI engine where it actually randomly generates levels based on your play style and then the way you want to customize the amount of obstacles and platforms that are in the environment. And it always creates a level that's completely beatable, no matter how insane the amount of objects on screen are. And I mean literally with like barely any free space on the entire screen. Definitely check out the review. I awarded it a 9.0 out of 10. It's an excellent game. Highly recommend that any platformer fan check out this game. It's currently available for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii U. And it will be actually coming to the PlayStation Vita and Mac soon. And it's available on PC as well, I believe.
Yeah, I read your review, and it was excellent review. First off,
Thank you.
But I was surprised because I watched the trailer and was like, man, I couldn't get into that because it's like you said, it looks impossible. It looks insane, and it's very interesting because it's so cool to see something like that. It's so skill based, but it's so simple. It's a standard platform, but it's so different, even though it's so similar. And the other thing is, I didn't know there was so much more content on there. Like you said, there's a co-op mode, and there's all these different other game modes, and there's customization and stuff.
Oh, the co-op could be a blast. There's one called Bungee Mode, and it's basically you and your 3 other friends, or however many other friends you have, whether it could be 2, 3, or 4, are all tethered to this tiny bungee cord. But you have to all work together to jump, because if somebody jumps and falls off, they're gonna start dragging down the entire team off the cliff. Which is it's awful, but it's hysterical at the same time. It's like one of those games that you won't curse off your friend for dicking you over, but it's one of those games you guys would laugh at the mistakes you guys make. It really is just a plain fun game. There's a ton of content in there. It's only $10. Really, this is an indie game that just should not be missed.
Right. I mean, it was promoted very heavily, at least on PlayStation,
yes.
On PSN. As one of the, what are they called?
The PSN Plays?
PSN Plays, yeah, something stupid like that. Along with DuckTales, which obviously is huge.
Yes.
And there were 2 other games that I picked up as well, Stealth Inc. and Ibn Ab, and those are both fantastic games. I'll be working on a review for Gamers Xtreme shortly on both of those. But just, quick review, or quick preview, I suppose, is Stealth Inc. it's a puzzler, and I love puzzlers. I really do. It's very addicting, somewhat short, sadly, and it's just the way it works. It's so cool because it takes all these elements of a modern day stealth game and puts it into a 2D platformer, and just forces you to work you around. And there's always a better way to do things, and it's so much fun. You can get gadgets and go through levels even faster. There's online leaderboards. It really is a blast. And then Ibn Ab is, to put it simply, the perfect girlfriend game.
The perfect girlfriend game. You hear that?
Yeah, if you have a girlfriend, she doesn't like video games, try Ibn Ab. Really cute characters. The game is going to be extremely easy for you as a gamer, but for your girlfriend, it's going to be the hardest thing she's ever accomplished in her life. I was playing with my girlfriend. We did 3 levels, and that's all she can handle in an hour and a half. I probably could have blown through it by myself in about 10 minutes. But it was an absolute blast. It's another puzzler, another 2D puzzler. Where gravity switches based on what side of the map you're on, and that simple theory, the whole game is designed around that, and it is so much fun. Just finding out ways to collect new diamonds, which are basically points. You have to go through it can be a very easy series of things to do, or picking up gravity and speed by going through the world multiple different ways to grab something just perfectly. That can actually be a real challenge. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Like I said, especially if you have a girlfriend, because it's co-op and it's a lot of fun.
Well, there you go. I mean, definitely looking forward to your reviews on both Stealth Inc. and Ibn Ab. So definitely stay tuned for that. On top of that, Thief finally got a release date.
Ooh, yes it did.
Now I'm assuming, based on that response, this is something you've been looking forward to.
What is with me and stealth and puzzle games, man? Thief, I never played any other Thieves before. I thought about grabbing them on Steam because they were on sale the other day, back when I was broke, but I cashed my checks today, and now I'm rich as fuck, and I think I missed it. But Thief for next gen looks amazing. It really does. I forgot what the actual release date is. It's what is it, like February 20th of 2014, I think. I
have it right here in front of me. It's February 25th.
Damn it, I was close.
They were close. Yeah, February 25th for the PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yeah, and I highly recommend getting on next gen because they're putting in a lot of work in this game. Just off of what I've seen, what I've read, developers are really trying to make a huge comeback into this series and really make it something to remember. It's, and it obviously reminds me, just out of the very general and the most obvious sense, of Dishonored, just because it's got that first-person, stealth element to it. But I think it's going to be a lot more in-depth than Dishonored, a lot more strategy involved, because In Dishonored, you could fight back, and in Thief, playing as Garrett, not so much. You're better off running, and just the maps design around it. I saw one of the blueprints for it, quote unquote blueprints. A little dev walkthrough, and there's just so much thought put into these levels that it's really going to blow your mind. My personal preference, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the game definitely looks pretty impressive, and I've heard a lot of good things about the previous iterations of the series. And yes, I did actually see that game was on sale on Steam a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was like $9 for 3 games or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, their Steam's deals are pretty amazing.
They are amazing. It's summertime. You got to grab what you can.
Absolutely.
While you can.
But then the problem is, if you overstock on games when you get closer to the end of the drought, then you have games back cataloged.
Yeah, I got a buddy, Ghost of Sparta. I'm gonna call him out. He's got like 80 games, and I'm pretty sure he plays 2 of them. What a jackass!
But let me ask you, what 2 of these games would they be?
He plays Battlefield, and I saw him just get into Payday, but that's only going to last about a week.
Speaking of Payday, actually, Payday 2 just came out this week. And that's actually getting some good reviews. And I've actually been playing the first one the last couple days, which has been pretty fun. Definitely something to look out for. I haven't played the sequel yet, but I'm actually thinking about looking into it. I was actually surprised it's only $40 at retail. So, it seems like a fun 4-player bank heist co-op game that's pretty much in the reins of like a Left 4 Dead with bank heists. So, on top of that, another thing that just got some info on yesterday, Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mouse, their reimagining of it. It is coming to both the PS3 and 360. However, on the PlayStation blog, they announced that there's a PS3 exclusive pre-order bonus. The bonus is, if you pre-order it through the PlayStation Network, you get the original Sega Genesis version of Castle of Illusion Mickey Mouse. You get an exclusive dynamic theme and 3 avatars. And if you don't pre-order this by September 2nd, you will never, ever get the original Genesis version or the dynamic theme on PSN, ever.
Ever. Definitely a good thing to look into if you're a fan of it. Yeah,
basically, it's going to be $14.99. I think the fact that it's bundling the original Genesis version, to me, is already an instant pre-order for me. There's just no question about it.
Yeah, you don't see many classic console games come out or remaster like that, at least not recently.
No.
Well, I guess
DuckTales, which actually one of our staff members is going to be covering the review for that. And I was stoked about it when I first heard about it. I just haven't played it yet because I ended up opting to get the physical collector's edition of the game, even though there's no disc in the box. It's just the box.
Yeah, boxes are cool.
If I didn't have enough of the 200 plus PS3 retail boxes sitting at my library right now, make that
plus one more. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that the Castle of Illusion, the PS3 exclusive pre-order bonus, is definitely the way to go. No question. If you were looking into getting this game, or you're looking into debating on which platform to get it on, I think the answer is pretty clear now if you're looking for the best bang for your buck.
Oh, definitely. And I didn't even know. I've never played it, didn't know much about it, but from what I looked at it and just the little bit I read up on it recently, it looks like they put a lot of work into it. So it's gonna do the original game pretty damn good justice.
Yes, I think it will as well. So we'll definitely see when it comes out on September 3rd. On top of that, to look a little bit towards September, on September 15th is probably one of the most anticipated games for the Wii U, and definitely my most anticipated game for the Wii U since last year. The Wonderful 101. There's a demo for it right now on the Wii U eShop. It's the next crazy game from the director of the original Devil May Cry 1, Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe. So Hideki Kamiya, who also actually directed Resident Evil 2, which is considered as the best in the series by many. This is his next crazy creation, and based on what I played at Comic-Con last year, as well as the demo now, any person who owns a Wii U would do very well to look into this game. This is a game that should be pushing the Wii U sales-wise. It's going to be, I'm calling it now, it's going to probably be the game of the year for the Wii U.
Wow, that's quite the...
Yeah, that's how confident I am about this game. I will be covering a review for it, but I'd be very surprised if I walk out of there going like, yeah, it didn't end up being as good as I wanted it to be. So we'll see. I'm going to go into it with zero expectations, but as of right now, it's definitely on my most wanted list. Then another reminder is on, I believe, September 5th is Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, the third edition to Dead or Alive 5 within 1 year. I'm not kidding.
People want more boobs.
People want more boobs. Devil May Cry. Dead or Alive 5 came out the end of September last year, and I remember I covered an advanced copy review for that. And then back in March, Dead or Alive 5 Plus hit the Vita, which was an excellent transition to the Vita. Reviewed that as well. And now we have Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, which is looking to add Rachel and Momiji from the Ninja Gaiden series as fighters in here, which that's got me stoked. As well as numerous rebalancing that they're doing, as well as...
I see what you did there.
And then on top of that, they're adding a ton more stages, one of which is from Dead or Alive 3, which was the Endless Mountain Peak stage. And I can't remember the name of the level for the life of me right now. I'm having kind of like a brain fart with that. And basically that's coming out. There's still no official price on that. I'm going to say most likely $39.99. As most games that get repackaged with new content gets priced at. Capcom is infamous for that, and Tecmo Koei is actually kind of infamous for it ever since, well, I guess Ninja Gaiden, with Ninja Gaiden 1 and then Ninja Gaiden Black, and then Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and then Sigma Plus, and then Ninja Gaiden 2, and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus. You catching the trend here?
It's a pretty good trend.
It's a good trend. Re-released the game numerous times with a different name, or a different addition to the name. So, but no, no hating or anything like that. I'm a huge Tecmo Koei fan in terms of their games, so I'll definitely be trying to cover a review for Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate as well. So, on top of that, I think that basically wraps up what we were going to discuss for this episode's podcast. VT, anything else you want to add on?
Not really. Just keep an eye out. I mean, we're pretty much ending the summer drought next week, those game releases, and moving up in the games, make sure you get your pre-orders in as soon as possible, get those bonuses. So keep an eye on things, and it's going to be a good end of the year for games.
Yes.
Great end of the year for games.
Yes, it's going to be a great end of the year for games, whether it's on the current gen platforms or with your next gen platform.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, guys. Remember, take it easy, and as always, game on.